What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 75 of EZPZ Podcast. I'm going to talk a little bit away from my mic, just so I don't pick it up on Nick's. So speaking of Nick, he's joining me this week on the pod. What up, Nick?
What's up, guys?
Just Nick and I, we're doing a duo cast. First one since 52 or 3. The last one in 2016, I think.
Yeah, 1952. First one since 1952.
Yeah, episode 52 or 3. We got a great show for you this week, though. We're going to be talking about some crazy stuff that's been going on in the world. This was a huge week. Kendrick Lamar won the Pulitzer a couple weeks ago. We never covered it on the pod, so we're going to touch on that just slightly about how historic it was. Kanye West is going crazy on Twitter. Avicii, we got an update on his death. Verne, Nick's going to shed some light on his death. We didn't cover him last week, but rip, Verne died. But first, Bill Cosby. Let's get an update on that first.
So Bill, as we all know, had some allegations. It's kind of the first big high-profile case since the whole Me Too movement started. He just went to trial the other day and was found guilty of 3 different counts of aggravated indecent assault, which is just a nice way to say rape.
Right.
And
I heard those are a 10-year minimum.
Yes.
So let's do some math here. You don't need to be a scholar to do this. He's 70-something. He looks like shit. He looks like he's melting off his face.
Yeah.
And he's going to die in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, I guess 30 years tops, which... So when he has like 50 plus women that have alleged him of all of this, it's like bittersweet, I guess. Because like a lot of people aren't getting the quote unquote justice they think they should. But yeah, like you said, he's old enough that he'll probably just end up, if he does go, he'll just die in prison. So
right. Yeah, you said the word justice, and that's kind of what we're gonna be theming on this week hard. This is the EZPZ Justice Podcast. So yeah, Bill Cosby. I mean, not much of an update really, besides like he got
was finally
convicted.
Found guilty, and there's people that have alleged him so far. A lot of people were kind of back and forth, didn't think some of the allegations were true. So yeah, this is kind of a big thing for all of the allegers, I guess, to finally solidify their statements. So it's a good thing for them. I didn't know that there was like a time limit on these kind of things. So a lot of those old cases couldn't even be brought to trial because of how old they were, I guess, because he had been doing this since like what, the 80s or 90s or something?
Oh yeah, 70s, I think.
Jesus, yeah. So
he's been a piece of shit for a long time.
Mm-hmm. America's dad.
Yeah, isn't that something?
So weird.
Now look at America's president. But we'll get into that later with Kanye West comments on our president. But first, let's go into that Avicii Verne update. I'm going to read the actual statement from Avicii, his family. His name is Tim Bergling. Our beloved Tim was a seeker, a fragile artistic soul searching for answers to existential questions, an overachieving perfectionist who traveled and worked hard at a pace that led to extreme stress. When he stopped touring, he wanted to find a balance in life to be happy and be able to do what he loved most, which was music. He really struggled with thoughts about meaning, life, happiness. He could not go on any longer. He wanted to find peace. So pretty much with that statement, it's assumed now that it was an actual suicide. He committed suicide. He couldn't go on any longer, which if you go back a couple episodes now, or was it last week?
You could touch on it last week too.
Yeah, we touched on it. It was 420. He died. Yeah, so yeah, it was last week. Just last episode 74. All accounts in 2016, he released singles. He was doing great. He wasn't touring, but he was still releasing music. Everyone was saying, including him, that he was doing great. He was found a new peace, whatever. But obviously, he did not. So that's super sad. It's a really sad way to tie up that whole situation, but I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, yeah, hopefully he found peace, I guess.
Levels is on my monthly playlist for April for sure. I've been listening to that track every day. I mean, it's just such a great track. And then, like we said, we expect to hear it all throughout the summer from a whole bunch of artists, producers, DJs, just remixing it and probably playing the Skrillex remix, which is really bomb.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tributes, so it'll be cool to see.
Oh, I bet we're gonna see like the entire screen tributing, like screen and music at the same time tributing to him. Yeah, for sure. Total bummer. What about Verne Troyer? We didn't touch base on this last week, but he ended up dying also.
Yeah, it was that same weekend actually. We were at High Life actually. A couple of us went to High Life for a drink, and that popped up on my feed that Verne Troyer, or Mini Me, as everyone knows him from the Austin Powers movies, had passed away. And I guess he had been dealing with a lot of health issues, obviously, because of his dwarfism and depression because of that, I guess. And his family also released a similar statement to Avicii's, just stating that, basically they think it was a suicide as well. So
crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah.
No foul play in either of these, so justice has been served in a way, right? I mean, well, nobody committed these crimes,
right?
Except for themselves, which that is illegal in the U.S., which is kind of weird in a way.
Yeah.
But super sad. Mini Me, I loved Austin Powers when I was a kid.
Dude, I actually, so Shano really loved those movies too, and we actually just recently bought like the Austin Powers like 3-pack of movies, like last year or something, so we could rewatch all those movies again.
Yeah.
And he had been in like a lot of cool stuff after that as well that I didn't realize. Do you remember any of the other movies he's been in?
No. So my memories of him are Austin Powers, of course, and then Celebrity like Rehab on VH1. So I used to watch a ton of VH1 in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
That and MTV. I mean, that's all I would do is watch TV and play games. And so I just remember him being on there and having a lot of issues, riding around on his scooter.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I did not even realize that he was on that. We didn't, like I said, we did not cover this on episode 74 of the podcast, but he had quite the life. He had a hell of a ride. For being 2 foot 4 inches or something crazy, one of the shortest men in the entire world. Yeah.
I mean, he had a hell of a ride.
It's insane for him to have such a good career given his, I guess, health issues, which is awesome. Because a lot of people could take advantage of that in certain movies to make it something cool. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, did you ever see that?
Okay, no.
Okay. It's an awesome movie. It was one of Heath Ledger's last movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was his last movie.
It was, yeah.
Okay. I mean, he had a great catalog of work, a body of work. I mean, for somebody that could have been just shoehorned into being the short guy, right?
Right, yep. He was in the Harry Potter movies. Like, yeah. He had,
what are you doing there?
Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay, so the first one came out in 2000?
Yep. He was a grip hook.
Interesting. Cool. Well, I mean, rest in peace to those two. Avicii obviously hits more at home for me as far as where I'm at in my life now, but Verne Troyer hits.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the second film that he was in. Is that the Spy Who Shagged Me's number 1?
Yeah. And then Goldmember.
Goldmember's 3, right, with Beyonce?
Yeah, something like that. I don't even remember.
Either way, the second one I had the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
I used to sing that song that him and Mike Myers. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right, let's move into our topic of the show. Tots.
TOTS.
TOTS, topic of the show. So we got him. The Golden State Killer, 40-year manhunt. He has been captured. 72-year-old Joseph James D'Angelo, who committed 12 murders. They all know this from the DNA. It was the same DNA at all 12 murders and 45 rapes across California between the 70s and the 80s. Absolutely mind-boggling. And like I was telling Nick before we started the podcast, is the older I get, the more I can feel myself getting more scared about dying. And so just the thought of being murdered, so it's not something that I did wrong, not my body turning on me. That is something else.
Yeah, I mean, you can't live your life like that, man. You can't be scared.
I know.
No, but so another thing to caveat that, I guess, is all this happened in the 70s and maybe early 80s.
So 76 to 86 is when the crimes actually were committed.
Yeah. So back then it was just a lot easier to be a serial killer. We didn't have all the technology we have right now to be able to find people like that. You just don't really hear about people being. You don't really hear about serial killers that often anymore because they can just be caught so much more easily. And you see a lot of these cases, just like this, where old cases go cold, and then later on, once technology improves, they end up finding people because of DNA or whatever, which is awesome to see. I love when that stuff works out.
Right.
Where people finally get their justice, you know?
Yeah, justice. Once again, thank you for bringing us back to that theme. So you were saying how it's harder to be a serial killer in 2018, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Apparently right now in the U.S., there's 300 serial killers running around.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, basically, there's cases connected to 300 separate cases. People, like single entities. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, just random fact I know.
Crazy.
About serial killers.
Because I've been thinking about death. And
yeah, so I've got a ton of details on this whole situation because there was a wonderful write-up here on the dailybeast.com. Daily Beast is stellar journalists website. Yeah. I mean, they just always they crack a lot of stuff. They bring for politics, entertainment, world news, etc. They pretty much were the first ones they broke this story where we found the guy, like I said, Joseph James D'Angelo. I'll just call him D'Angelo from here on out, being his last name. So this ties back, oddly enough, to Patton Oswalt.
Right, that blew my mind.
Right, yeah. So his wife, who's died now, I think she died of brain cancer, some sort of disease.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure cancer. Her name is Michelle McNamara. She was a writer, a very stellar writer, in which I didn't even know until after she had died, of course, where Patton Oswalt was doing a wonderful job kind of sharing how her successes throughout her life on Twitter and stuff. It really hit him hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
They had just had a daughter who's 3 or 5 or something now. Anyway, she's a writer for a book that she had not finished. She was in the process of writing it when she was diagnosed and got sick and eventually died, called I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Which cataloged D'Angelo's murders and rapes. I mean, it was very detailed. She did hundreds of interviews.
Yeah.
She was doing crazy work on the back end there. So after she died, Patton Oswalt and journalist Billy Jensen and researcher Paul Haynes, they all finished the book, actually. Yep. So they worked together to do so.
Yeah, Billy's one of the ones that actually did an interview with D'Angelo, which was crazy, and that interview was in the book.
Crazy. So he looked in the eyes. I mean, we're looking in the eyes of a digital on the website here at Studio EZPZ. We're looking into these soulless, disgusting, empty eyes, right? Yeah. Like, look at this face.
It's really creepy, yeah.
This dude, oh man, it's nuts. So yeah, he interviews him.
Yeah.
Gets that interview in the book.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of one of the things that, cracked the case.
Wow. I couldn't imagine. So here's some details. Let's run down the storyline here. 1976, sexual assaults started popping up in the East Bay area. People were calling him the East Bay area rapist. Years later, though, he moved his way south 400 miles. And he started after he started committing a bunch of murders and more rapes. They could connect this DNA. Like, DNA back then was not good enough to obviously pinpoint somebody, or we didn't have resources like Ancestry.com, which is actually how he ended up getting caught.
Which is weird.
Whoa, right?
I still don't...
Let's touch on that real quick before we go down the highlights. So what happens was he is connected through other people, through other DNA websites. So there's 23andMe, there's Ancestry.com, there's FamilyTree.com, I think. So there's a bunch of these out there where you spit into a vial. I've actually done it. I got it from my dad and I, basically for my dad and my sisters and I for Christmas. So 2 different kits. Right. You spit into a vial. You send it to a lab. They tell you a whole bunch of neat stuff about you. Like I know I'm 85% Northern European, so I'm Norwegian. Right. And then I'm 15% Native American.
That's cool.
Which is crazy. But that just means native to the Americas. So I knew I had Mexican descent.
Yeah.
So that 15%. My mom, I'm sure she's probably 30 to 40% then. But anyway, you spit into the vial. They tell you all this stuff, but they connect you. They have a database now on you, right? Right. They connect you to a bunch of other people. I have the ability to actually message other people that I'm second cousins with, or it goes crazy, 6 cousins, where it's just at that point, nuts. How close are we?
Right.
I'm not going to actually reach out to you. But he ended up doing this, I guess, or he's in the database somehow. Somebody else said you can also manually enter. Hey, this is my cousin. Hey, this is my brother, sister, daughter, son, or whatever. So they catch him by the FBI. Stellar work by the FBI. They catch him by that.
Yeah. Some how they specifically did it is with some quote unquote discarded DNA evidence. So it must have been like a coffee cup or Starbucks cup or something. They
apparently after you abandon something,
they can use it. Yeah.
That's super interesting. Yeah, good call.
Crazy.
Out there. So 1976, he started those assaults, East Bay area. Then he moved south, and then they started calling him the Golden State Killer. 1980, he killed a couple by breaking into their house, tying them up with stuff that was just inside of their house. That was his MO. Yep. He would just take wires or cables or whatever and tie up the husband, and then tie up the wife, of course, and then rape her, and then kill them both. Ugh, disgusting. 1976, so 4 years prior, he gunned down a couple who was just walking their dog. Yeah. And then after that incident, though, so I should say, in 1976, when these all started, after that incident, there were sketches out from him. So, like, when he gunned down that couple, eyewitnesses saw him, whatnot. They started bringing those sketches out. If we scroll up here to the top, in the studio here, you can see those sketches are, if you can picture a younger him. Those are pretty accurate. I mean, the hair, you can see the hairline's the same on both these two separate sketches. Obviously, at 72 years old, he's bald now. Yeah. But wow, just crazy.
Kind of some, I guess, background on that, or not background, but just so people were like shook with terror. They were like Sean about death. They were, no, just kidding. One of the things I read in here said that he would like bludgeon them with like logs that they just had for like fires in their home or whatever. So people were like cutting off their like the low hanging branches of their trees so he couldn't get those logs to use. They were like planting cactuses in front of their windows, making sure they like reinforced their doors and stuff. Like people were like legit scared. Like this terrified the whole area.
City, town these crimes were committed in, and then obviously it got into the newspapers that it was committed by the same person, this Golden State Killer. Yeah, fear seeped into these towns. It was just absolutely bonkers. As you said,
fortifying their homes and shit.
Right, yeah. So people removed shrubbery that was around their house so nobody could hide. People would reinforce their sliding glass doors and windows, like you just said. Floodlights were installed. Tambourines were attached to doors to make sure that you could hear when a door was open. Hammers were hidden under pillows, and 300 guns were sold in the Sacramento area during the first half of 1977. So he committed these crimes, 76 to 86. Keep that in mind for the folks listening at home. Absolutely bonkers. Cactus plants were put under trees. You know how you have to be pretty wealthy to buy cactus plants. Those cost a lot.
Yeah, like having a giant cactus. Yeah, that's nuts,
man.
Changed the whole landscape of like the area basically because of a killer.
I'm gonna jump down here a little bit on the details I have here. So he would break into people's house. He would B&E into people's houses, learn the layout. He would look at people's family pictures to see who lived in the house. He would unlock doors. He would empty bullets from guns. I mean, he was meticulous. He was a straight-up murderer, and he had to have that frame of thought, of course, to not be caught for 40 freaking years.
Right.
Other things about him, 1973 to 1979, he was a police officer.
Right, which is crazy.
Dude.
So during the time that he was doing all of this, he was a cop.
I don't mean to be like laughing. I just am dumbfounded. Like,
no, it's nuts. Also might kind of be why he didn't get caught for so long, because he was a cop, and he kind of had that mindset.
Evidence. He could remove evidence. Yeah. He could, exactly. Yeah. That's so true. I mean, back in the day, they probably didn't have
and the evidence wasn't great anyway, so you didn't really need to hide much.
Yeah, yeah. So in 1979, he ends up getting fired from being a police officer because he got caught shoplifting a can of dog food.
Dog repellent.
Dog repellent, okay. Yep. Dog repellent, murderer.
Right, and a hammer.
Sense.
And a hammer.
Oh,
right?
Man.
To bludgeon people. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. So yeah, he was meticulous. He would break in. He would study the house. Man. So the book does come out, like I said, Michelle McNamara, her husband, Patton Oswalt, and those two, the journalist and the researcher, they ended up finishing the book, release it. After there were a bunch of statements were coming out for the victims that were raped and obviously survived. I mean, you can imagine the torment. I mean, we just spoke about two celebrities dying and they're celebrities, like committing suicide. I mean, just horrible, mind-boggling situation to be in. They catalog him as a 5'11" white man between 60 and 75. That helps them go. The FBI does this. That helps them go through this Ancestry.com,
right,
or whatever. They don't release the actual website,
right?
But like you said, they were following him for like 3 days. They found an abandoned item. They test the DNA. Ends up being a match.
Yeah.
They go and arrest the man at 3 a.m. just this last week or a couple weeks ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, crime scene photos and stuff. It's crazy. So what was it about in this article as well? I think. Like, was it when the book was being like finally released, or they had some sort of like an opening party or something like that? That is literally that same night that they arrested him.
Oh, I think you're right, because that Patton Oswalt started tweeting about how his wife did all this hard work to shed some light on this horrible thing that honestly terrorized the entire state of California, Golden State Killer. Yeah, and so then he's out at the party, the release party, with all the researcher, and the journalist. And
yeah,
I think that you're right. Yeah,
that's insane, and that's got to be like awesome kind of closure, I guess.
Oh yeah,
in a way, like she was right. You know, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That part was messed up.
Which part? Can you share for the?
Sorry, just
listeners?
reading through this article. Listeners playing at home. Before he got caught, obviously it was something like 24 years later, he had called a woman that he had previously raped, I guess, and said, "Remember when we played?"
Ugh.
What a creep.
Dude, Jesus. He took small items. I forgot to mention this earlier.
He had little trophies and stuff?
Yeah, he would have like these little trophies or items, or mementos, wedding rings from these people that he would terrorize, rape, or kill. And then the end of the article here is kind of interesting. It goes into his current neighbors, where he's living right now, which I believe is in Sacramento, where he was living before he got arrested. Yep. His neighbors kind of looked at him as just an old dude that had a horrible temper, to the point where he would have outbursts on the driveway, yelling and screaming. He would saying he was like about how he was looking for his keys. He would throw tantrums. He would yell through his window into his driveway at people running by. I mean, it goes on and on about how he had issues. He's straight up issues. He'd go into rants. He was very nosy about other people's business.
People always just heard him kind of yelling at himself in his driveway and stuff.
Yeah. He would be freaking out over the littlest, minute, dumb thing.
Which is kind of one of those things when you're looking at the profile of a killer. They always have like a, I don't even know, gut wrench reaction to everything. They're always like
on edge.
Yeah. And it was nuts too that I figured this would just be like some lonely dude just like chilling by himself, but he was like married with a couple of kids or something.
Oh man,
think how like crazy that would be to like just find out that, oh hey, my dad was a serial killer, or
my husband,
yeah. Bonkers.
I'm out of coffee now. Oh no. This is Justice Podcast, right? Speaking of justice, let's move on to another piece of justice that I'm actually excited. Let's get to the happier stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Are we done with all the...
We're done with all the sad stuff. Well, I guess it is happy that the Golden State Killer gets caught.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
It was sad to read about all the 42 cases of rape and the 12 murders. I mean, just absolutely bonkers. 45 cases of rape, excuse me, in the California area. Damn. Speaking of damn. Damn by Kendrick Lamar wins 2018 Pulitzer for music.
Wow. Nuts.
I am so happy and so excited because, I mean, I would put Kendrick Lamar in the top 10 for me right now.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite artists, bands of all time. Yep. I mean, he's just absolutely crazy. I'm happy to say I've seen him live last year at Voodoo Music Festival. So, yeah, let's get some details here. I thought, the first things first, he won $15,000 for this win.
Oh my gosh.
He makes probably $100K for playing a music festival. At least $50 to $100K.
Man, He can go get himself a nice dinner somewhere.
What am I thinking? He makes way more than 50 or 100K. He has to.
I mean, per show?
Per, like,
yeah. I mean, maybe. It depends on, like, what
well, it was
caliber
just released
that
this
show
week
is
that Beyonce got $30 million for 2 Coachella sets.
Yeah, that's insane. But Coachella's probably got to have a way bigger budget then.
Right, I agree. And also, Coachella they paid her that so that she had to pay her own dancers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She had to pay her own, the whole orchestra or band that played.
That's what I've heard. Like, when you say people made so much money at a festival or show or whatever, sure, that's the money they got, but they also spend a lot or sometimes more than what they even make for the production value, for the dancers, for the crew.
Their sound crew?
Sound, like everything, you know?
Yeah, an interview came out a couple weeks ago about leading up to Coachella. So obviously Coachella wrapped up last week with the second weekend, which was not live streamed. An interview with Cardi B popped up where she got paid like $300,000.
Right.
And she spent like $270 or something like
exactly.
that. On the lighting, the entire stage presence. I mean, they could have had some sort of pieces on the stage to go with their music to kind of paint a bigger picture or whatever. So we're getting off track here though. You know, it's easy to get off track, go down the lemon hole, even with just you and your best friend over here up in here podcasting. So Kendrick Lamar wins that Pulitzer. It's the first time since music has been recognized. And so 1943 is when the Pulitzer organization or whatever started recognizing music. It's the first time a non-jazz, non-classical work has ever won.
That's insane, which is probably why I didn't know it was even a thing, because I don't follow classical or jazz music.
Right.
Because I've always thought, so are they different categories for Pulitzers? Are there like books and things too?
Yeah. So if we're on the studio's wall over here. We're looking at this. It goes into like the finalists, which we'll touch on. Quartet by Michael Gilbertson was a finalist in the same category here for music. He's an Iowan, so we'll touch on that here shortly. Then it goes into the jury, which is kind of cool. You can see a professor of journalism from Columbia University was part of the jury. There's 5 jury members. And then it shows who's the winner in music previous years here, but also it shows you who won for photography, poetry, biography, and reporting. So there's a bunch more rewards, but those are like the top ones, these 4 plus music. So $15,000 though, I think I think that would be really cool if him or Top Dog Entertainment, his label of course, came out and they said, hey, we're donating that to Compton High School.
Which honestly probably wouldn't surprise me if he does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just another way to get some more press, which he's pretty much at like clout level 100, right? Like, what has he ever done that's wrong besides saying the word bitch a couple times in a rap song? I mean, that's when Damn came out last year. That was pretty much the only critique that I saw from any far left or far whatever, you know, subsect of people his lyrics were a little bit misogynistic still. If you compare him to other rappers, he is tame. I mean,
he really is
when it comes to misogyny.
And it's not even, you have to like take it with a grain of salt, and it's part of the story, and it's like showing his growth and stuff like that. So he does it very, I guess, profoundly. He thinks about it. It's not just because he's trying to fill a space, you know, every word almost has a meaning. Like
clearly, or else he wouldn't have won the Pulitzer, right?
Yeah, yep.
So Good Kid, Mad City into To Pimp a Butterfly, which honestly I would have loved to see that win as well, win some other kinds of awards. Obviously, the Grammy being the number 1 for Album of the Year. All 3 times he's been robbed.
Yeah.
Gosh. I mean, Jesus.
Pain point for Sean.
Very big pain point for me. And also the biography here on Pulitzer.org is kind of annoying because it says Grammy nominated. He's not a nominated artist. He's a winner. He's like Grammy Award winning.
Yeah, true. Right.
So it's really weird that
he's won a bunch of Grammys.
I guess this is a quote from Andy Kellman on allmusicguide.com, but still, they need to update that. Yeah. Grammy Award winning Kendrick Lamar, platinum selling. Okay, so some more details on this though. After the Pulitzer came out, a bunch of websites started, or news organizations started giving their quotes. The head of music in those departments, I'm sure. The New Yorker said the Pulitzer got it right. Washington Post said the win solidifies hip hop as the only genre that matters right now. The Times says describes the win as one that may have never even seemed within reach years ago. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, critics in the early or 80s, 90s, you know, rap has only been a thing since late 70s, 80s. Yeah. They described rap as pornographic filth.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
which there are still plenty of that out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of just garbage rap, but there's garbage any kind of music, right?
Right.
So yeah, we in the beginning of this discussion here, we talked about Iowa's Michael Gilbertson being a finalist for the award for music, the Pulitzer for music, and this was based off of his rendition of a song, or I guess. Yeah, it's called Quartet, but a composition is a better way to describe it than just a song. It's so it's like 15 minutes long, I believe.
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to listen to it because I can't find it online.
It's on SoundCloud.
I don't think that's the song. That's called Mother Chords, and that's the song he released like 11 months ago.
Oh, okay.
But I could be mistaken. I did listen to Mother Chords, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll get into that though. So the Des Moines Register does a good job kind of describing what Gilbertson's day was like when he heard that he was a finalist, but not only a finalist, he ended up like losing to Kendrick Lamar's Damn. So he's part of a crew of new age classical artists who aren't just like having their pinky out when they're drinking their tea and their nose stuck up.
Right.
And those aren't exact words that he says, but it's pretty much what he says. Yep. He's like listening to other genres, and a bunch of taking in all kinds of music. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not just only listening to classical music and composing classical music. So he even touches base on Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, which came out in 2013, I believe, and how that album itself totally inspired him to write a whole bunch of works in the following years. So he's from Dubuque. He is currently part of the San Francisco Chamber Orchestra. And yeah, I mean, seems like a pretty stellar dude. He's only 30 years old and he's already been up there for the 2018 or finalist for a Pulitzer, excuse me. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Really, really awesome. Like I said, Mother Chords is great track. It's his only track on SoundCloud. He has like 130 followers, or however you want to. What are they called? Are they called followers?
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually took a classical music course at DMAC.
Really?
Part of like my associate's degree. So I have a ton of classical music on my in my iTunes, just because I had to like download the CDs and then listen to it.
Yeah.
And write about like what I heard, if I heard any, because I mean I don't know any instruments.
Right.
I took piano as a kid, but that's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about it.
Right, but still pretty interesting.
That's really cool.
I just want to really touch base on how Kendrick Lamar won. We didn't really say anything about it in the pod.
Yeah. I just think it's awesome because just looking at all the previous works that won, like I said, it's all, you know, classical and jazz. So there's probably a lot of people that have followed this kind of thing or that are into classical and jazz that have maybe never heard Kendrick Lamar at all.
Yeah, good
point. It's going to, I think, this kind of is going to solidify for a lot of people, like, okay, maybe I'll step out of my comfort zone a little. Maybe I'll check out this album. And yeah,
hats off to Matthew Lyman-Cooler, who did the interview, called Michael Gilbertson and had that interview, because this is a really, really great article on Des Moines Register. Once again, I don't say that very often, you know. I think last week I was dogging on USA Today, but they had a good article for whatever we were discussing. Yeah, again, Matthew Lyman-Cooler, friend of the show, I would say. We've tweeted at each other a couple times. I met him at Bring Me the Horizon show.
Oh, nice.
Actually, yeah.
That's funny.
As soon as he got the job at Des Moines Register covering music. But yeah, really good stuff here. And it paints Michael Gilbertson in the light of like, hey, I'm the new age classic guy, like I said. I'm open to other things. I'm not going to just consume and create classical music, compose that kind of music. Cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. Let's keep going with the happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Keep this positive train rolling.
Yeah, let's keep this positive train going. let's talk about Kanye West. What's going on with him?
Yeah. Kanye's been in the news a lot recently. Some say negatively, but I say positively.
Yeah, Nick and I have both agreed on this. We think that it's a positive thing.
So, I think, I don't know, I tried to even find the beginning point of all of this, but I had a hard time even doing that. It's been going on all week, but there's a picture that was released, which this is the first thing I ever saw, which made me kind of question what was going on. But it was Kanye with a MAGA, or Make America Great Again, hat on with two white dudes. I should probably know who they are, but I don't know.
They are helping him produce like music.
Okay.
They're big icons in the music industry, apparently.
I gotcha. So names, the meme was him wearing this hat with two old rich white dudes, and it was like, it looks like Kanye was kidnapped by these two white dudes and they made him put on this hat.
He's about to do Get Out 2. This is Get Out 2's like script.
Oh man, which I thought was hilarious.
But so actually Kanye West tweeted that. He tweeted out a picture of the hat, which is signed by Donald Trump. Okay. He tweeted out he's been on a Twitter storm lately. Right. So for people that don't know, listeners playing at home, Kanye West stopped tweeting. I think he suspended his account or deleted all his tweets and then just stopped, tweeting or whatever.
It's not the first time.
Right. Yeah. He goes on these like weird things. But anyway, he started tweeting again, and all of it is that hat, him wearing that hat, and then it goes into a whole bunch of other stuff where he's tweeting out personal conversations that he's text conversations he's having with other people, like John Legend.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that?
I didn't see that.
So John Legend is like, hey, dude, you have a lot of power over the young people, especially. You have a lot of sway.
Right.
For anybody that may be on the fence and whatnot. And then Kanye's like, hey, dude, you're trying to manipulate me. I'm open to, I should have free thought. I should be able to think what I think and not be pigeonholed as somebody that's straight up a white supremacist because I'm supporting Donald Trump or I'm not anti-Donald Trump. So that's pretty much his message. Mm-hmm. I'll let you go ahead and take it from there.
Yeah, so I don't even know where to pick it up again. So basically, everybody just kind of, there's a frenzy of people just like, you're a Trump supporter, like what's going
Twitter,
on.
That's why I hate Twitter.
Yeah. Which at first, stepping back and just like seeing a news article, this was like straight up on the news. Like I hate Fox, but I saw it on Fox at the gym. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I had really no context. I didn't know what was going on, but it just, when they were showing, it looks like, oh, him and Trump are hanging out. He's a Trump supporter now. What the hell? But I was reading through all of his tweets, and so basically the only message he's really trying to get across here is to be positive. He's like, there's so much negativity in the world. I just want to spread positivity. He had like a cool post that we were talking about before the show about find somebody that you hate or that you have a grudge against or that you just want to punch in the face and tell them that you love them. Like, it's just like crazy cool stuff like that, which, there's a lot of hate. Like, people hate Trump. I was kind of in the same way. I still have a little bit in there. There's still a little bit, but he's just trying to spread that positive light.
But just to piggyback onto that, a lot of like podcasts I listen to, I love like self-help stuff. Like just like you and whatnot. Stoicism is lots of the teachings for Stoicism is pretty much, if you have a negative person in your life or like somebody that you have negative energy around when you're around them, just try to flip it on its head completely. Right. And I do that at work all the time. Like if I feel like the way I was brought up, maybe just it's in the Johnson blood to like have a grudge on somebody when you shouldn't have a grudge on somebody. Like if they pissed you off one time a week ago, like I try to say something positive, like, or just like crack a joke to them. Yeah. Or like whatever. So I'm not going to say it's like at work, but it probably is basically based on people at work because everyone else in my life for the most part is a positive part of my life. But it'd be just like cracking a joke with them that is like it could be like become an inside joke that you can revisit is a good tactic. Just based off what Kanye was saying, I think that's totally awesome.
Yeah. But just positivity, being mindful. That's kind of the gist of what I'm capturing here. Now, because of all this shitstorm, if you will, of all these hate and comments and whatnot about him, he released a couple of songs to kind of to combat that, I guess. I don't even know what the best word to say is there. The first one that he released is very interesting. What was the name again? Lift Yourself. It's called
So this
Yourself.
is on KanyeWest.com right now, listeners playing at home. Yep. Feel free to check it out after you listen to this.
Highly
or
recommend.
honestly, pause this right now.
Yeah.
Go to KanyeWest.com and listen to that track.
Yes.
So if you go to KanyeWest.com, you see just 2 files. The top one being Lift Yourself. Nick, tell us what's in Lift Yourself.
So Lift Yourself starts as a basic Kanye track. It's got a good beat. There's some good sampling in there. It has his signature kind of like chipmunk woman sounds, if you will, whatever that thing he kind of branded.
Yeah.
For a couple of minutes, and then the bars, if you will, kick in. The hot bars.
So he tweets out, "I'm going to drop a new song with a verse that will bring the Ebro to the closure he's been seeking." So he's calling out all those people on Twitter like hating on him.
So
the Ebros.
Yeah, Ebro's actually Ebro is from Apple Music. He has like a radio show.
Oh.
Ebro, what's his name? Ebro.
I thought
something.
he was saying like email Ebro.
No. Ebro was a radio host that was calling him out for all of this stuff, basically like saying that he was a Trump supporter and that he's not using his power for the good right reason.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Right
this
on.
was kind of like a direct like line of fire to him. But anyway, so lyrics are very interesting. They basically
right here, Ebro Darden.
Yeah. Yep.
That's his actual name, Ebro.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So the lyrics, let me find them again here. Okay. So should I
just do your best Kanye West rendition of these lyrics?
Oh my gosh. All right. But they don't really realize though. This next verse though, these bars, watch this shit go. Whoopity scoop. Scoopity whoop. Whoopity scoopity poop. These are real lyrics.
It just keeps going on like for a couple more bars. Poop, poop, scoop diddy whoop, whoop diddy scoop, whoop diddy scoop poop. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so when I saw this originally, I thought...
Has he lost it?
So I thought somebody was like making a joke. I didn't think it was actually him because I just saw like a random Facebook video of it. And I had to like really do some research. I was like, this is not him. Like someone just made this up. It's some stupid meme,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really him. It's on his website and everything.
So the next track, though, I mean, he's obviously just messing around. He probably had a beat he didn't really like enough to ever release music on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he just throwaway beat. I'm just assuming here.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on and he releases Ye versus the People.
Right. Which does a better, I guess, job of putting light on the situation. It's a track with him and T.I., which I haven't seen anything from T.I. in a long time, so I thought that was kind of cool.
So there's a rap show, real quick. There's a rap show on Netflix right now.
Oh, yeah. I need to watch that.
It's really good. I forget what it's called.
Oh.
Rap Game Changer or something.
Yeah.
But Liddy and I have watched a few of them, and we watched half of the T.I. one, and it was fine. But the main one on there that I want to give a shout out to is Logic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
That's
I've learned... we saw Logic. I believe you and I, Alex and Luis...
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bush, friends of the show, and Luis Licea. We all saw Logic at Somerset like 2015.
Right, which is crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, T.I. has a great episode on there, and you learn a lot about T.I. and where he's been, what he's done, and how awesome he was. He had a lot of great tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Early
2000s really is. He's really blowing up.
Yeah, so yeah, they have it's a collaboration with him and T.I. where T.I.'s criticizing him, saying, "Hey, you're doing this. Why you gotta do this? You know, come on, man, use your head." And then Kanye West kind of defending himself, saying, "Hey, you can't just put me in a box. Why do all Democrats have to be blacks have to be Democrats, etc." So
we ain't even got off the plantation. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's more set up like an interview, because they're like kind of rapping back and forth, but yeah, T.I. is like, why are you doing this?
But they both have respect for each other, you know? It's not like they're calling each other
Well, obviously
out.
he posted a song about it.
Right. He says he make America great again, had a negative reception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, gave it a new direction. I mean, pretty good stuff, honestly, and he obviously got a little bit fired up from all these people coming out. I mean, what did you expect? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I'm on the fence about it. Because, yeah, I mean, Trump does some shitty stuff. Like, he's a hard person to like, but I like Kanye's overall message of positivity. Like, I agree. You know, don't waste your breath. Like,
you can support something. I come from this idea of that you can support some ideas and some decisions Donald Trump has made without being a white supremacist. You know, the farthest right thing that you could possibly be. Like a neo-Nazi. Like, you don't have to be that to support.
It just sucks.
I get $50 more paycheck.
Right.
I'm happy about that. Right?
Yeah, it just sucks because, it's all or nothing with most people.
Exactly.
Because they don't get the whole scope of it, I guess.
And then there's people out there that understand the tax code that was actually just put into place that gave me the extra $50 a paycheck that will say, well, you're spending more here or more there. Sure, okay, fine. But I mean, right from what I see, I get $50 more. I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter.
Sure,
Hell no.
Right.
I would never, ever, 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 ever in my life vote for him or vote for him in the next election or support him in any way. I am anti-Trump in any sense of the word, but I'm not going to judge somebody like Kanye West for just trying to pretty much bring two sides together, unify.
Yeah, yep. Which, that's kind of what I got out of all of this is, he's just trying to be positive. So, I don't know. At first, when I was reading all of this, I heard the poop song. I was like, okay. He fell off again. Like, he's doing some weirdo stuff again. Like,
he went full on Britney Spears.
I'm going to let you finish, but...
We're just going crazy. So, let's kind of wrap this segment up with some positives, which is Kanye posted recently a picture on Twitter where sorry, I just heard like a random sound like whirring in the background. And it was just somebody on their damn motorcycle here in Des Moines, Iowa. It's a beautiful day out.
It really is.
So I guess I shouldn't blame him. But anyway, so he posted an image of a black doctor, apparently a black doctor, saying, "This is my album cover. This is the plastic surgeon, Jan Adams, the person who performed my mom's final surgery." So his mother died a day after that surgery, and he wants to forgive and stop hating. So he's clearly, I mean, you listen to a whole bunch of Kanye West songs, man, he's never let that down. Like his mom died after complications of a surgery, and she was like his everything. Really. So he wants to forgive and forget. He's probably done some shrooms in the last LSD in the last year. He's really seen a new side to the world.
He's getting even more woke.
Yeah, and Mother's Day is coming up, so of course he's probably feeling even more sentimental and more emotional about it. So he tweets that out. It's a conversation with somebody named Wes. I don't know who that is, but he says, "What should my next album? Any titles to my next album?" And it says, "Love everyone," all caps. That's what his text he received from this person named Wes, and he says, "I love that." So we got some good news. Is that the other way around? No, that's right. Him. So we got some good news, maybe. Yeah. We got a poopity scoop.
Got the first track off his new album, "Love Everyone." No, I'm just kidding. He always kind of flip-flops and goes back and forth and has like 8 different running things going before he finally lands on a track name and everything, or a album name. So who knows if this is what he'll actually stick with, but
the point being, he's got new music coming out, and didn't he already say that he has an album coming out with June 1 or June 8? With who?
There's some tracks with
it's not Future. It's...
No. What's his name? Kid Cudi is on it. Okay. Yeah.
And he said that they had like a name for their super group. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah, nice.
But yeah, cool stuff for Kanye West, I guess.
Yeah, overall positive.
Yes, he's bringing some positivity, trying to unify, like we were saying. Mm-hmm.
I like the overall message.
All right, let's run through a timeline of events for the happiest story of the week, one of the happier stories of the week, which is North and South Korea have officially ended the Korean War. So for listeners playing at home that didn't know, a Korean War started in 1950, where I believe South Korea invaded North Korea, or I might have that mixed up. North Korea invaded South Korea, started a war for 3 years, and then in 1953, they signed an armistice, which pretty much said no more fighting, but we're not signing any peace agreement.
Right.
So there still was like kind of like in a way a Cold War between the two, where they would have restrictions on people coming and going from the countries,
right.
Extreme restrictions, no fly zone, blah, 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 stuff like that. So on Friday, April 27th, middle of the night for the U.S., talks about the countries coming together, unifying. We're going out, and it went to the point where Kim Jong-un, the headline here, I'm just reading through the timeline events on the CNN, the hot takes. Kim Jong-un says he's willing to go to Seoul, so the capital of South Korea. And eventually, though, they met at the border. They start shaking. Gosh. I just stumbled upon the giant thing, the meme that came about from this whole situation, which is Kim Jong-un is traveling like in a stretch Mercedes, a black stretch Mercedes. He has like 15 security officers wrapping from the passenger side around to the back of the car to the driver's side, just running, jogging with the car as like his security.
That's nuts.
Bodyguards were running. Okay, so basically though, North Korea's Kim Jong-un and South Korea's Moon Jae-in, they shake hands. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's literally an entire day of them shaking hands, standing next to each other, taking photo ops, hugging, toasting. Yeah. They're toasting alcohol together. They're eating food. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, it's great to see. It brought a lot of people across the entire world to tears, for sure, this peace summit.
Yeah, it's insane. I didn't realize even that this was still a thing. I knew they were both, there was like some conflict there, but I guess I didn't realize it was because of this whole thing. So it's cool. And I was going to mix up, which is the one that's like more like suppressed.
So North Korea, the Kim Jong-un here on the left, pretty much the fat, younger looking one.
Yeah.
He is the leader of North Korea. Yeah.
Right.
They're the ones that... There's video that just came out within the last year of a man running from North Korea to South Korea, trying to get away from their crazy situation.
Forgot about that, yeah.
They're so mind effed. It's insane. If you listen to Joe Rogan podcast, well, first off, yeah. So he's running to the border. He's getting shot in the back. He's got so much adrenaline from getting the heck away out of that country. He keeps going. He rolls. He keeps going. He's rolling. He's falling. He's getting shot in the back and the legs. And he still gets across the border safely. Yeah, crazy. But if you listen to Joe Rogan podcast, Joe talks about that situation. He also talks about how when the former president, which I believe is Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, when he died, there was people weeping. Like literally everybody was weeping in the streets. Yeah. And if you weren't part of that, if you weren't out in the street weeping, you were arrested.
Right. They were in the...
Or if you didn't cry hard enough.
Seem sad enough.
Yeah. So that's insane. The kind of country that we're dealing with here.
There's a lot of like restrictions on like media and what they can watch and internet and stuff. Which one is that? Is that both?
No, that's North Korea.
Okay.
South Korea is the complete opposite.
Okay.
Dude.
So that's what I get. That's why I get confused. Okay.
Samsung is from South Korea. Samsung's headquarters. Samsung's a company that's from South Korea. South Korea is like humongous in the tech industry. Cool. Obviously with Samsung, they're pretty much the greatest pro gaming teams come from South Korea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So SKT1, South Korea, Telecom 1, they have a pro gaming team for League of Legends. They have a pro gaming team for every other Counter-Strike, every other popular game, like Dota.
Game, yeah.
And they win. They've won like League of Legends 3 years, I think, of the last like 8 seasons. The entire world. So yeah, South Korean gamers are like the top tier. Yeah. StarCraft, Diablo, all that stuff.
Right.
So we got pictures here where it says 8 a.m. on Friday morning. So I think their time is, I don't even know, 10 hours.
I don't know how far
10 hours ahead. But anyway, they're signing the vowed to end the Korean War together. And then, like I said, that shows them doing both of their speeches. Apparently, we have Kim Jong-un saying denuclear. Oh, he didn't address denuclearization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shows them shaking hands, though. There's an enormous moment for the entire world. Lots to be worked out. Moon is to travel to Pyongyang later this year. So, like I said, Moon, South Korea's president here. And we got Trump tweeting out saying...
that picture was awkward.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Gosh.
They're like embracing each other. One of these is not like the other. I mean, we got a fat, short, kind of a bad haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Younger dude. And then he's hugging somebody that actually looks pretty much presidential.
Distinguished, yeah.
Yeah, distinguished. Respectable. Whatever. I mean, it shows them at the border too, shaking hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. So yeah, it's just a really, really great moment for the entire world. A new chapter in history. Apparently, there was a South Korean performer named Mina, M-I-N-A-H, performed One Dream, One Korea. So this is a huge deal for the Koreans, of course. I want to see our president go to the border of Mexico and shake hands with the Mexican president. Say, hey, no more wall.
Sorry about what I said when I was hungry.
I just needed a Snickers and my 12th Diet Coke for the day. So, yeah, I mean, the funniest part, if there's any takeaways that were really funny, is this meme now where people are leaving in this... Kim Jong-un is leaving in this stretch Mercedes, black on black, with all his black tie-wearing security bodyguards running behind him.
It's too much. Too much.
Very good for the world. Well, we've hit an hour.
It's good stuff.
I can't believe we hit an hour, Nick.
Yeah, man.
What do you got planned? Let's talk. Let's just vamp for a little bit longer.
What do we got going on for the day? Today.
So you've been on this whole clean eating, no drinking kick, or do you guys still drink this weekend at all?
No drinks this weekend. Just trying to get back to the diet. I've really only been back to like super strict dieting and working out for the past like month or so.
Crazy,
I was going
dude.
going pretty bad there for a while.
Like I was saying, like the entire year.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I was still working out here and there, and I was still dieting, but I wasn't really staying as strict as I normally would. So, yeah. And that's just for me. Shane has been doing it longer. Even like I don't know, man. I just could not get the motivation.
Well, you said that you've had a lot of overtime.
Yeah,
stuff,
that really kills.
Yeah.
So when I'm working like 45, 50 hours a week, then I don't really want to do anything else.
You gotta do it, man.
I know.
You gotta listen to Joe Rogan podcast. You gotta listen to...
See, I've been trying to get motivated again. So I'm finally getting back.
I find myself being the most motivated ever when I am listening to Joe Rogan, listening to Tim Ferriss. Shout out to him. He's like my demigod. And Aubrey Marcus has an amazing book that just came out.
I saw that.
I think friend of the show, Alex Bush, was talking about how he's listened to it. Lydia's been reading it. I bought the Audible book because I have like 2 credits built up. So
there you go.
I've been listening to it. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It pretty much says the chapter I'm on right now is talking about how you should be looking at healthy ways. You can if you would like to look at healthy ways of using tobacco. So obviously smokeless is the way to go. Swedish snus is the way to go.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I might try it a little bit.
I might dive back in a little bit.
I used to dip when I was a kid. I'm not talking about straight up snuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about snus, which is the stuff that's like in a packet. Okay. And it has no chemical or 1/20th the chemicals or whatever. Oh. Yeah. No, I'm not going to probably get into it. I just think I think it's an interesting chapter. But he goes from like that to other lifestyle design choices that we make daily. Mm-hmm. From the first 20 minutes of waking up to what you should be ingesting, not coffee. Do not drink coffee when you wake up. Drink water. Think about it this way. Yeah. A good way to think about it is during the winter when it's negative 20 out, is not recommended by mechanics worldwide, really. Right. To not just get in your car and just start driving.
You need to warm it up, yeah.
You got to get the oils going. You got to get it loosey-goosey. So he's saying wake up and just chug water, which honestly... The book is an amazing reminder to what I've learned in The 4-Hour Body, which is by Tim Ferriss, where you wake up and you drink 20 ounces of ice cold water, and that gets your organs going, and so that's kind of like the juxtaposition. There's the car, when you're in the winter, dead of winter, you don't just hop in it and just redline it.
Right, yep.
And you shouldn't be doing that to your body, which is what coffee does on a dehydrated body, because you're dehydrated from
makes sense, yeah.
From even respiration.
I've always been one to drink plenty of water. I got into it when I started getting into health and fitness shortly after high school, and I just like am addicted to water. Like I can't go an hour without having some water. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, I've been chugging it already this morning. So
yep.
Yeah, dude. That's what my recommendation to you be. Joe Rogan podcast. Listen to podcasts. Yep. I love music, but it has podcasts have a special place in my heart.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I've been listening to an art podcast, I guess, that I'll shout out real quick. Lifeform podcast, which Lifeform is an Instagram account that basically highlights other artists. There's a huge like lowbrow, I guess if you will, art scene on lowbrow art. Yeah, so not like highbrow fancy shit, just like people drawing dicks and butts and poop and barf and I just love those art, like just highly
garbage pail kids
basically stuff? A lot of the artists I follow could consider themselves lowbrow artists because it's not like fine art,
but there's still which is kind of the stuff, or like,
which is
just
sort
stick drawing.
It's kind of the stuff I'm doing, Like my stuff is not like considered fine art by any means. It's like that tattoo style, Okay. But anyway, he interviews a different Instagram artist basically every week, and it's been just like super inspiring because I haven't been like on my art game as much this year either. So I'm really trying to like get all my ducks in a row. I'm gonna make sure I keep working on my art, working on my health, all that good stuff. So
so that's your choices right now.
Yep.
You got those daily, dude. You know that, right? Yep. Every day you can choose to do stuff. I'm on day 68 as of today for meditating.
Nuts.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's badass.
How do you feel, man? How do you feel?
Amazing.
Like, give me,
absolutely amazing. This morning, I don't know. You can't really explain it until somebody does it, in my opinion.
So you've just been using Headspace, or what? Okay.
So back in October, I bought a year of Headspace. They had like a sale or whatever. It was like $70. I'm like, oh my god, so much money.
Yeah.
But that part of that like payment makes me want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna motivate you to actually do it.
Right, get my money's worth and stuff. So every day is like 30 cents or 40 cents, but it's worth it. Yeah. And it's 10-15 minutes
to be mindful and
Oh man, I not recently because I've been doing like trying different stuff out, so I haven't been like staying on one particular segment, which is like a 10-day, 20 or 10 or 30-day segment usually. Okay. So based on like certain teaching or like whatever, like focusing only, or I like the green ones on Headspace for anyone playing at home that uses Headspace. They're all like focus or attention, or I don't know. I can go down the list if I want to pull my phone out, but I don't want to. So I've been bouncing around though, like looking to sleep ones that help me relax before sleep and whatnot.
Nice.
And I've just been using that.
It's awesome.
I got my on waking board up here. Yeah. You wake up, drink a mineral cocktail, brew the coffee, meditate, get dressed to go work out, do some Wim Hof's breathing. He calls it the breathe motherfucker thing, where you do 30 breaths, deep breaths, until you start feeling your body tingle and maybe a little bit lightheaded, but that gets all the oxygen flowing through your entire body. All your blood cells are feeling great. And then it kind of like, honestly, is so true. I mean, to do that. Yeah. Because that makes sense. I mean, I should say that how great I feel after doing that. Because if you think about it, after running, which is just a bunch of deep breaths, and then the endorphins of
get that,
get that super awesome high. But
and breathing is a huge part of meditation, right?
Oh yeah, the first like 30 seconds I do like just nonstop deep breaths. So I was almost doing that anyway with meditating. But yeah, dude, I'm glad to hear that you're trying to get back on track. It's almost May. Yep. Next time you hear us on EZPZ Podcast, it's going to be May something. I think.
May something.
Yeah. So wait, when this comes out, it'll be May 1st.
Yeah.
So either way, I mean, we're getting close to festival season. We've got a lot of great stuff planned for festival season. I would like to do shows at every single festival. Don't care who's going to be on, you're too hungover? Okay, fine. We'll find somebody else kind of thing.
Right.
Not you, but I just mean in general. Like some people have already expressed they want to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
You're going to be hearing a lot of new voices probably in the next coming months on those festival podcasts. But hey, if you can't do it when we're going to do it. And we'll find somebody else because, like I said, there's lots of people that want to be on the pod. So this has been Justice Podcast, episode 75. Nick, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at bazooka_Nick, SoundCloud at Nick Gandy, Facebook, Nick Gandy Art. Don't really use that much anymore. I've been sticking to Instagram. It's a way better way to kind of reach people than Facebook. But
yeah, I actually haven't looked at my Facebook notifications, right? Because honestly, that's what gets you sucked in.
It does.
I think.
Yeah, and that's been another thing too. I barely pay attention to my phone and like social media and like Snapchat and all that stuff. I
delete Facebook off my phone, so the only way I can use it is if I use Safari, which is crappy. Sure. Like on my phone,
right,
Safari.
Right, yeah.
It's really crappy. It's really hard to even post something.
Yeah.
And then on a desktop. Right. So at work, when I was finding the stories for EZPZ, it was so much easier because it's easier to do that on a desktop because you have 2 tabs, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs open.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, deleting Facebook was number 1 on your phone, the app.
Yep.
Now I want to delete Twitter. Can't bring myself to do it yet. Basically, what I want to do is set up my Apple News app to filter in stories and things I want to read about.
Right.
Websites I want to see.
Yeah. It's if you take advantage of it, that's kind of its whole purpose, right?
Right. Get me away from social media and then bring me to that. Yeah. And then just if I have to post, which that's my excuse, right? As I have EZPZ, so I have to post.
Sure.
But now I can just delete those and maybe schedule a post because you can schedule on Facebook. I have an app on my desktop here on my Mac that I can schedule tweets out. Mm-hmm. So I should look into that.
Yeah.
It's such a time suck. But I've been playing a ton of Arena of Valor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I need to get on that.
Dude, you would have fun. It's just a great game to play when you and Shayna are like, you did all the stuff you need to do for the day. You worked out, got done eating. Okay, let's play some Arena of Valor on my phone while we watch something on TV.
Right, yeah.
So
that's cool.
So Nick Gandy Art on Facebook. We just say you don't use it too much, but bazooka_Nick on Instagram. Yep. I'll be posting that on our EZPZ Facebook, like scheduled post. Yeah, you can find me at Sean S. Johnson on everything. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. I don't use Snapchat or that much, but yeah, find me on all that stuff. EZPZ at TheEZPZ. This has been episode 75 of EZPZ Podcast, and we out.
Yeah. I did it again.